every single one of you. We'd love to know, what part of the world are you watching from right now? Let us know in the comments. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1. The Architect and His Dreams. Ethan Hayes' fingers danced across the keyboard, lines of code materializing on his monitor. The clock on his desk blinked 3:47 a.m., but time held no meaning when he was in his element. His cramped apartment, illuminated by the harsh glow of multiple screens, served as both his sanctuary and laboratory. Just one more algorithm, he muttered, reaching for his fourth cup of coffee. The bitter liquid had gone cold hours ago, but he barely noticed. The code before him represented more than just programming. It was his chance to prove himself, to rise above his working-class roots. A notification popped up on his screen, another rejected job application. Ethan minimized it without a second glance. He'd grown used to the rejections, each one fueling his determination to succeed on his own terms. His phone buzzed with a message from his mother. "Son, your father asked if you're still looking for real work." Ethan ignored the message. His parents had never understood his passion for programming. To them, success meant following the traditional path, suit, tie, and a corner office. But Ethan knew technology was the future, and he was determined to be part of it. The image of his grandfather's failing tourism company, Hayes Adventures, flashed in his mind. The business had been his grandfather's pride and joy, built through decades of hard work. Now it was struggling, barely staying afloat in the digital age. Ethan had inherited it 6 months ago, and with it, the responsibility of 30 employees whose livelihoods depended on its survival. Mr. Hayes, Maria, his office manager, stood in his doorway the next morning. Her expression carried the weight of more bad news. The Thompson Group canceled their booking. They said our manual reservation system is too outdated. Ethan nodded, his jaw tightening. How many cancellations this month? 7 corporate groups. Maria hesitated. And the staff? They're worried about their jobs. The weight of responsibility pressed down on his shoulders. These weren't just employees. They were families who depended on Hayes Adventures for their livelihood. He looked around the dated office, with its paper filing systems and ancient computers. His grandfather had been an amazing adventurer but a terrible businessman. "Tell everyone there's a mandatory meeting at 4 p.m., Ethan said, his mind already formulating a plan. The conference room was packed when Ethan walked in. Worried faces looked up at him, expecting the worst. He could see the fear in their eyes, the resignation of people who'd been through too many mandatory meetings that ended in pink slips. "Hayes Adventures is struggling," Ethan began, his voice steady. "But I'm not here to announce layoffs. I'm here to share a vision." He pulled up a rough prototype on the projector, a sophisticated online booking system he'd been developing in secret. The room fell silent as he demonstrated how it would revolutionize their operations. "This system won't just handle bookings," he explained, his passion evident in every word. "It will analyze market trends, implement dynamic pricing, and automate our entire workflow. We're not just going to survive. We're going to lead the industry." In the back of the room, Tom, a veteran guide who'd worked with his grandfather, raised his hand. "With all due respect, Mr. Hayes, we've been doing things the same way for 30 years. Our clients trust our personal touch." Ethan nodded, acknowledging the concern. "The personal touch won't go away, Tom. This system will handle the tedious work, giving you more time to focus on what matters, creating unforgettable experiences for our clients." As the meeting concluded, Ethan noticed a subtle shift in the room's energy. Hope had replaced fear. Determination had overcome resignation. His employees began to see what he saw, a future worth fighting for. That night, as Ethan worked on refining the system, his wife Chloe walked into his home office. She was stunning as always, dressed in designer clothes that they couldn't really afford. "Another late night?" she asked, her perfectly manicured nails drumming on his desk. "The system needs to be perfect," Ethan replied, not looking up from his screen. Chloe sighed dramatically. "I saw the most amazing Hermes bag today. Sarah from yoga has one, and her husband's company isn't doing nearly as well as Hayes Adventures could be." Could be. Ethan finally looked up. "Well, if you focused more on actual business instead of playing with computers." She left the sentence hanging, Scrolling through luxury fashion websites on her phone, Ethan turned back to his work, the subtle dig rolling off him. He'd heard variations of this theme throughout his life, from his parents, his teachers, and now his wife. But he knew something they didn't. In the digital age, technology wasn't just part of the business. It was the business. Months passed in a blur of coding sessions and coffee-fueled nights. The booking system took shape, line by line, function by function. Ethan tested and refined every feature, anticipating user needs and building in redundancies. His dedication began showing results. The launch day arrived with little fanfare. Ethan gathered his team early morning, dark circles under his eyes betraying the sleepless nights he'd spent ensuring everything was perfect. Remember, he addressed his nervous staff, today we change everything. There might be hiccups, but we'll face them together. The system went live at 9 a.m. By noon, they had their first automated booking. By the end of the week, bookings had increased by 30%. Within a month, Hayes Adventures was operating at full capacity. The transformation was remarkable. The office buzzed with energy as employees adapted to the new system. Tom, the skeptical veteran guide, became one of its biggest advocates after seeing how it freed him to spend more time with clients. "You've done it, Mr. Hayes," Maria beamed one morning, showing him the latest numbers. "We're not just surviving, we're thriving." Ethan's leadership style evolved with the company's success. He remained hands-on, always ready to help solve problems or explain features. His employees noticed how he remembered their names, their stories, their challenges. When Jenny from accounting needed time off for her mother's surgery, Ethan not only approved it but arranged for meals to be delivered to her family. The office itself transformed. Gone were the ancient computers and filing cabinets, replaced by modern workstations and digital systems. A new logo adorned the walls, symbolizing the company's renaissance. During a particularly successful week, Ethan organized an impromptu celebration. He ordered pizza for the entire staff and raised a toast to their collective success. "This isn't just my achievement," he told them, his voice warm with genuine appreciation. "Each of you took a chance on this vision. You adapted, learned, and grew. Hayes Adventures isn't just a company. It's a family." The sentiment wasn't mere rhetoric. Ethan had created something rare in the corporate world. A workplace where people felt valued, where success was shared, and where innovation was celebrated. Little did he know that within this success lay the seeds of betrayal, waiting to take root in the hearts of those closest to him. Chapter 2. The Seeds of Betrayal. Liam Hayes strode into the Hayes Adventures office at 10:30 a.m., designer sunglasses perched on his head, the scent of expensive cologne announcing his presence. As the marketing manager and Ethan's younger brother, he carried himself with the entitled air of someone who'd never had to prove his worth. "Another late night at the Reserve?" Maria asked, noting his bloodshot eyes. Liam flashed his trademark charming smile. "You know how it is with clients, Maria. Someone has to handle the social aspects of the business." Behind his carefully cultivated image of the charismatic socialite, Liam seethed with resentment. He watched through his office window as employees gathered around Ethan, seeking his advice on the booking system. Their father's words from last night's family dinner echoed in his mind. "Your brothers really turned things around," Samuel Hayes had said, pride evident in his voice for perhaps the first time when speaking about Ethan. Who would have thought all that computer nonsense would actually amount to something? The praise had felt like acid in Liam's stomach. He'd always been the favorite, the son who embodied their father's ideals of what a businessman should be. Now, Ethan's success threatened to overshadow everything. A knock on his door interrupted his brooding. Chloe entered, immaculately dressed in a red designer dress that probably cost more than most of the staff's monthly salary. "Your brother's little computer program rejected my spa appointment again," she complained, dropping into the chair across from his desk. "Something about invalid booking parameters. Who even talks like that?" Liam leaned back in his chair, taking in Chloe's frustrated expression. "He's turned this place into a soulless machine. All algorithms and data, no human touch. Tell me about it." Chloe rolled her eyes. "Do you know what he got me for our anniversary? A spreadsheet showing how much money his system had saved the company." "A spreadsheet?" Their shared laughter carried a hint of bitterness. Liam noticed how Chloe's eyes lingered on him, how she adjusted her dress just so. The attraction had been building for months, unspoken but undeniable. "We should discuss this over drinks," Liam suggested, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "The reserve, tonight?" Ethan's too busy with his precious system to notice anyway. Chloe's smile held a mixture of excitement and guilt. 8 p.m. Later that evening, in their bedroom, Chloe watched Ethan hunched over his laptop. "The Morrison account needs attention," she said, scrolling through luxury handbags on her tablet. "They're one of our biggest clients." "Already handled it," Ethan replied, not looking up. "The system flagged their booking pattern changes last week. I've implemented a customized pricing structure for them." Chloe set down her tablet, frustration evident in her voice. "Not everything can be solved by your precious system, Ethan. Business is about relationships, connections, reading people. The numbers don't lie, Chloe. The system has increased our revenue by 40% in 3 months. Numbers, data, algorithms," she muttered. "What about living a little? When's the last time we went out? Had fun? Lived like successful people should?" Ethan finally looked up, dark circles under his eyes. "The success we're seeing now is just the beginning. Once we've stabilized—" "I'm going out," Chloe interrupted, grabbing her purse. "Don't wait up." At the reserve, Liam was already waiting at their usual corner table. The upscale bar had become their sanctuary, a place where they could drop the pretenses and voice their shared frustrations. "He doesn't deserve any of this," Liam said, signaling for another round of drinks. "He got lucky with his coding skills. That's all." Chloe nodded, the alcohol loosening her tongue. "You should have seen him last week. I told him about this amazing investment opportunity. My friend Sarah's husband made millions. You know what he said? The system's analytics don't support high-risk investments right now." Their laughter drew attention from nearby tables, but they didn't care. As the evening wore on, their chairs moved closer, their touches lingered longer. The line between commiseration and attraction blurred. Meanwhile, Samuel Hayes sat in his study, reviewing the latest Hayes Adventures reports. The numbers were impressive, he had to admit, but something about this new direction troubled him. Tourism was about personality, charm, the ability to read people, all qualities his younger son possessed in abundance. The next morning, Ethan called an emergency staff meeting. The booking system had identified a potential market opportunity that required immediate action. As he presented his analysis, Liam and Chloe exchanged knowing looks from opposite ends of the conference room. While Ethan's system has shown impressive results, Liam spoke up, his voice carrying the smooth confidence that had always won their father's approval. "We shouldn't forget the human element. Our clients expect a personal touch." Several older employees nodded in agreement. Ethan acknowledged the point with characteristic patience. "That's why the system is designed to enhance our personal service, not replace it. It frees up our time to focus on client relationships." After the meeting, Liam cornered Chloe in the empty break room. "He doesn't get it, does he? This business was built on personality, not programming." Chloe moved closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Sometimes I wonder if he even notices I'm there. Last night, I dressed up in that new La Perla set, and he didn't even look up from his screen." Their faces were inches apart now, the tension electric. "I notice," Liam murmured, his hand brushing against hers. "I always notice." The moment was interrupted by Maria entering the break room. They stepped apart quickly, but not before she caught their guilty expressions. As she left, Chloe and Liam shared a look that acknowledged a line was about to be crossed. That evening, Samuel called Liam into his study. "Your brother's system is impressive," he admitted, swirling whiskey in his crystal glass. "But it's not sustainable. This business needs a real leader, someone who understands people." Liam leaned forward, sensing an opportunity. "I've been thinking the same thing, Dad. Ethan's good with computers, but he's lost sight of what Hayes Adventures really is." Samuel nodded slowly. "Perhaps it's time for a change in leadership. Someone with the right qualities." The implications hung in the air between them. Liam struggled to contain his triumph as his father outlined a plan that would shift control of the company away from Ethan. Later that night, Liam met Chloe at their usual spot in the reserve. As they celebrated their shared future with expensive champagne, Neither felt guilty about the betrayal they were planning. In their minds, they deserved this, the success, the power, each other. What they didn't realize was that their actions would awaken something in Ethan that had always been there, dormant beneath his gentle exterior. A capacity for ruthlessness that would make their betrayal seem minor in comparison to his revenge. Chapter 3. The Birthday Betrayal. Hayes Adventures headquarters buzzed with excitement. The company had just hit an unprecedented milestone, $200 million in profit. Employees gathered in the main conference room, champagne glasses in hand, as Ethan prepared to address them. When I inherited this company, he began, his quiet confidence filling the room. Many thought we were finished, but each of you took a chance on a new vision. Today's success belongs to all of us. The staff erupted in applause. Even Tom, the veteran guide who'd initially resisted change, raised his glass in appreciation. To Mr. Hayes, he called out, and the room echoed the sentiment. Ethan scanned the crowd, noting Chloe's absence. She'd mentioned a spa appointment, though the system showed no such booking. He pushed the thought aside, focusing on his team's celebration. Later that evening, Ethan sat in his office, preparing Chloe's birthday surprise. He'd spent weeks programming a special feature into the booking system, a virtual tour experience dedicated to her. The monitor displayed the final touches, the Chloe Hayes adventure experience. A knock interrupted his concentration. "Come in," he called out, minimizing the screen. Maria entered, hesitation evident in her stance. "Mr. Hayes, there's something you should know." "What is it, Maria?" She shifted uncomfortably. "It's about Mrs. Hayes and Mr. Liam. I've seen them. They seem very close." Ethan smiled, missing the implication. "They've always gotten along well. Liam's good at the social aspects I sometimes neglect." Maria opened her mouth to say more, but thought better of it. "The birthday party preparations are finalized for tomorrow," she said instead. The next day, Hayes Adventures' main office was transformed for Chloe's birthday celebration. Ethan had spared no expense, wanting to show his appreciation for what he believed was her support through the company's transformation. Chloe arrived in a stunning designer dress, Liam suspiciously close behind her. Samuel Hayes made his entrance shortly after, commanding attention with his mere presence. "Before we begin the celebrations," Samuel announced, his voice cutting through the party chatter, "I have an important announcement." Ethan stood near the center of the room, anticipation building as his father took command of the gathering. The party guests fell silent, wine glasses paused mid-sip, all eyes fixed on Samuel Hayes. "Hayes Adventures has reached unprecedented success," Samuel continued, his voice resonating with authority. "And with such success comes the need for strategic changes." Ethan's smile began to fade as he noticed the triumphant gleam in his father's eyes. "Therefore, I am announcing a change in leadership," Samuel declared. "Effective immediately, I am transferring full ownership and control of Hayes Adventures to Liam Hayes and Chloe Hayes." The silence that followed was deafening. Ethan stood frozen, his mind struggling to process the words. He watched as Liam stepped forward, placing his hand on the small of Chloe's back, both of them beaming with barely contained satisfaction. "Liam possesses the true spirit of Hayes Adventures," Samuel continued, deliberately avoiding Ethan's gaze. "He understands that real business is built on relationships, not computer codes. And Chloe, she brings the sophistication and business acumen this company needs." Employees exchanged uncomfortable glances. Maria covered her mouth in shock, while Tom shook his head in disbelief. Ethan's voice cut through the tension. "Father, may I speak with you privately?" In Samuel's private office, Ethan maintained his composure. The company was failing before the system. "We've increased profits, but..." Samuel's laughter cut him off. The sound was cold, devoid of any fatherly warmth. "Profits? You think business is all about numbers?" He reached into his wallet, pulled out a crisp $100 bill, and tossed it onto the desk between them. "This is your actual value, son. Your coding is nothing without real business acumen." "Real business?" Ethan's voice remained steady, but something dark flickered in his eyes. "The company was dying under your real business approach. You were always a disappointment," Samuel sneered. "A computer nerd playing at being a businessman. Chloe deserves better." The company deserves better. Liam, he's a true haze. Ethan stared at the $100 bill on the desk. In that moment, something fundamental shifted within him. The gentle, patient man who believed in fairness and hard work began to recede, replaced by something colder, harder. Without another word, he left his father's office. As he walked through the party, he caught sight of Liam and Chloe, standing close together, champagne glasses in hand. Their laughter carried across the room, a sound that would echo in his mind for months to come. Ethan departed the celebration quietly, the birthday gift for Chloe, the specialized virtual tour experience, still running on his office computer, never to be revealed. The $100 bill burned in his pocket, a tangible reminder of his family's betrayal. In his apartment later that night, Ethan sat in darkness, the city lights creating patterns on his wall. The $100 bill lay on his desk, next to his keyboard. His fingers hovered over the keys, but for the first time in years, he felt no urge to code. Instead, he pulled up the security footage from the office over the past few months. As he watched the recordings, pieces began falling into place. The lingering looks between Chloe and Liam, their coincidental meetings in the break room, the late-night strategy sessions that had nothing to do with strategy. His phone buzzed with messages, Chloe asking where he'd gone, Liam making excuses about the announcement, Maria expressing her shock and support. He ignored them all. The gentle architect of dreams was gone. In his place sat a man who understood that trust was a weakness, and forgiveness was a luxury he could no longer afford. The betrayal had awakened something in him, a capacity for ruthlessness that would soon make his betrayers regret their choices. But that was a story for another day. For now, Ethan Hayes sat alone in his apartment, the $100 bill on his desk serving as a reminder of everything he'd lost, and everything he would make them lose in return. Chapter 4. The Silent Gathering Storm. The $100 bill lay in ashes in Ethan's new apartment, the remnants scattered across his steel desk. The space reflected its owner's transformation. Stark, minimalist, dominated by screens displaying security feeds and data streams. Gone were the family photos and comfortable furnishings of his old home. This was a war room. Ethan's fingers moved across his keyboard with precise aggression, each keystroke a small act of vengeance. The man who once created software to help people now weaponized his skills. Lines of malicious code filled his screens, spyware, monitoring systems, and infiltration protocols. Your new security system is active, Mr. Hayes, the building's security chief said, handing over a specialized access card. No one enters without your explicit authorization. Ethan nodded, dismissing him with a gesture. The security measures weren't paranoia, they were preparation. He'd learned his lesson about trust. His phone buzzed. Chloe again. He picked it up, reading her message with cold detachment. Where are you? We need to talk about this. Your father didn't mean. He blocked her number without hesitation. Then Liam's. Then his father's. Digital barriers were just the beginning. The gym in his building became his second sanctuary. Each rep, each punch against the bag, each mile on the treadmill stripped away layers of his former self. His body hardened alongside his resolve. The physical transformation matched his psychological one. No more gentle programmer. He needed to become someone his enemies wouldn't recognize. A knock at his door interrupted his workout routine. Through the security feed, he recognized Sarah Chen, a face from his university days. She hadn't changed much. Still the same intense focus in her eyes, the same no-nonsense posture. You've redecorated, she said after he let her in, taking in the wall of monitors. Nice setup. Though I'm guessing this isn't for software development anymore. Ethan pulled up financial records on one screen. Hayes Adventures' new management is stealing from the company, funneling money into private accounts. My father's turning a blind eye. Sarah studied the data. And you want me to help you expose them? I want to destroy them. His voice carried no emotion. They took everything from me. Now I'll take everything from them. Sarah's fingers danced across one of his keyboards, testing his security measures. Your encryption's solid. But you'll need more than that for what you're planning. She turned to face him. You're not the only one who hates seeing corrupt people abuse their power. I'm in. Together, they built a digital fortress. Sarah's expertise complemented Ethan's, creating systems that could penetrate Hayes Adventures' security while remaining undetectable. They worked in silence, two predators preparing for the hunt. The first strike came quietly. A small glitch in Liam's personal banking app, just a few $100s vanishing from his account. Nothing worth reporting, but enough to plant the first seed of unease. Ethan watched through the spyware as his brother frantically called the bank. Liam's panic was visible on the security feed Ethan had tapped into. "I'm telling you, the money was there yesterday," Liam shouted at the bank representative. "Check again." In her office, Chloe discovered her social media accounts acting strangely, posts appearing and disappearing, friend lists shuffling randomly. Small disruptions that looked like technical glitches but served to keep her off balance. The system's showing unauthorized access attempts, Sarah reported, monitoring their handiwork. "They're hiring IT consultants." Ethan's laugh held no humor. "Let them try. They're fighting shadows." The private investigator's first report arrived encrypted in Ethan's inbox. Photos of Chloe and Liam at the reserve, timestamp details of their meetings, financial records showing shared expenses. Each piece of evidence fueled Ethan's resolve. "They're planning a vacation to the Maldives," Sarah noted, scrolling through intercepted emails. "First-class tickets, luxury resort, using company money," Ethan added, his voice arctic. "Send an anonymous tip to the board about the misappropriated funds. Let's see how they explain that." His new apartment became a command center. Multiple screens tracked his target's movements, communications, and financial transactions. Each day revealed new vulnerabilities to exploit. A new message from Chloe to Liam popped up on one monitor. "We need to be careful." The board's asking questions about the travel expenses. Ethan allowed himself a small smile. The first cracks were appearing. Soon, they would realize that their world wasn't as secure as they thought. But by then, it would be too late. The transformation of Ethan Hayes was complete. The kind, trusting man who believed in second chances died in that birthday party. In his place stood someone else, someone who understood that mercy was a weakness his enemies didn't deserve. Chapter 5. Escalating the pressure. Chaos erupted at Hayes Adventures' morning meeting. The booking system, once Ethan's masterpiece, had developed a mind of its own. Double bookings plagued the schedule, confirmation emails arrived blank, and client data seemed to vanish at random. "Fix it." Liam slammed his fist on the conference table. The IT team cowered before him, their explanations dying in their throats. "I don't care what it costs. Get this system working." But the problems defied solution. Each fix spawned new issues. The system's complexity, once its strength, became an impenetrable maze for the consultants brought in to repair it. From his digital fortress, Ethan watched the company's desperate attempts to maintain order. Sarah had integrated their attack protocols deep within the system's architecture, invisible to detection, resistant to removal. Their latest consultant just quit, Sarah reported, monitoring the company's internal communications. "Says the system's too complex to fix without the original developer." Ethan's response was cold. "Send another glitch through the payment processing system. Let's see how they handle refunds." The financial impact mounted quickly. Clients demanded compensation for botched bookings. Staff overtime costs soared as they struggled to manage the chaos manually. The company's reputation, built on efficiency and reliability, began to crumble. In the executive office, Chloe faced angry board members. "We're implementing new procedures," she assured them, her confident facade cracking. "These are just temporary setbacks." "Temporary?" Board member Richardson's voice dripped skepticism. "We've lost 3 major corporate clients this week. Your husband's system never had these problems." "Don't mention Ethan." Liam burst out. "We're handling this." But they weren't handling it. The company's finances spiraled downward. Hidden in the digital noise, Sarah's program slowly drained resources through 1,000 tiny leaks, each too small to track, but collectively devastating. The strain showed in Liam and Chloe's relationship. Their secret meetings, once passionate encounters, devolved into bitter arguments. "You said you could run this company." Chloe hissed at Liam in an empty conference room. "Now we're hemorrhaging money, and the board's asking questions." "Me? You're the one spending company funds on your shopping sprees." Liam shot back. Those business lunches at designer boutiques aren't fooling anyone. Ethan watched their argument through the security cameras, his expression unchanging. Send the board an anonymous email about their relationship, he instructed Sarah. Include the hotel receipts. The rumors spread through the company like wildfire. Staff productivity plummeted as employees whispered about their leader's affair. Trust in management evaporated. Samuel Hayes's attempts to stabilize the situation only made things worse. His old-school business tactics, aggressive price cuts, costly marketing campaigns, drained resources faster. Your brother's mismanaging everything I built, Samuel complained to Ethan during an unexpected visit to his new apartment. The company need. Get out. Ethan's voice cut through his father's plea like a blade. You gave them the company. Let them destroy it. Samuel's face reddened. Now listen here. No, you listen. Ethan stepped closer, his physical transformation evident in his father's startled expression. You chose them. Live with the consequences. After Samuel left, Sarah emerged from the second office. Your father's trying to secure an emergency loan. Want me to block it? No. Ethan's smile was predatory. Let him dig the hole deeper. When everything crashes, he'll fall the hardest. The pressure mounted daily. Hayes Adventure's stock price dropped as news of their trouble spread. Clients canceled contracts. Banks began calling about missed payments. In their private moments, captured by Ethan's surveillance, Liam and Chloe's facade cracked completely. We need to sell, Chloe admitted, her designer outfit wrinkled from stress. Cut our losses. Sell? To who? Liam laughed bitterly. The company's worthless now. Ethan's revenge reshaped their lives in subtle ways. Their credit cards declined at expensive restaurants. Their social media accounts leaked embarrassing messages. Their phones dropped calls during crucial business negotiations. Each small disaster pushed them closer to the edge. They never suspected the true architect of their downfall, never imagined that their crude betrayal would unleash something so methodically destructive. The company they'd stolen through betrayal was slipping through their fingers, and they couldn't stop its fall. They'd wanted Ethan's creation. Now they had it, but it had become their destruction. Chapter 6. Turning up the heat. Hayes Adventures teetered on the brink of bankruptcy. The company's sleek offices, once buzzing with energy, stood half-empty. Unpaid bills piled up. Employees jumped ship, seeking more stable opportunities. Ethan watched it all through his wall of screens, his expression unchanging as years of work crumbled. This wasn't destruction. It was dismantling, piece by piece, circuit by circuit. The private investigator's final report arrived, Sarah announced, transferring files to his secure server. You'll want to see this. The footage showed Liam and Chloe in a private meeting room at the reserve. Their conversation, captured by directional microphones, revealed their desperation. We need to move fast, Liam urged, sliding papers across the table. Transfer everything we can to offshore accounts. Once the company fails, we take the money and disappear. Chloe nodded, her manicured nails drumming nervously. What about your father? He's the least of our problems. Did you see him yesterday? He barely knows what day it is. Ethan's hands clenched as he watched. Even now, they plotted to steal more, to escape consequences. Send copies to the board, he instructed Sarah. And the SEC. Let's add fraud charges to their problems. But legal troubles weren't enough. Ethan wanted them to feel hunted, to experience the same betrayal that had shattered his world. The psychological warfare began subtly. Their phones received anonymous texts at 3 a.m., quotes from their private conversations. Their computers displayed photos of their secret meetings before shutting down. Someone's watching us. Chloe panicked during another hidden rendezvous. They know everything. Liam tried to maintain his composure, but his voice shook. It's probably just corporate espionage. We'll hire better security. But no security could protect them from Ethan's digital onslaught. Their personal emails leaked to business contacts. Their private bank statements appeared in their colleagues' inboxes. Their secret affair became public knowledge, destroying their credibility with the board. Time to escalate, Ethan decided, pulling up a new contact on his secure phone. We need someone who can handle the physical aspects. Jake answered on the first ring. The former Black Ops soldier's reputation preceded him, efficient, discreet, and unquestioning once paid. I need surveillance and intimidation, Ethan explained. Make them feel watched. Make them afraid to sleep. Jake's response was professional. Send the details. Consider it done. The pressure mounted. Liam found his car's tires slashed in secure parking lots. Chloe's home alarm triggered randomly at night. Both felt eyes on them constantly, but could never spot their watchers. Their attempts to fight back proved futile. The IT security firms they hired found nothing. Ethan's digital traps were too sophisticated. Sarah's code too well hidden. In their desperate search for help, they never looked toward Ethan. In their minds, he was still the naive programmer they'd betrayed, too soft to seek revenge. They're cracking, Sarah observed, monitoring their increasingly erratic behavior. Liam tried to withdraw $500,000 today. The bank blocked it thanks to our alert. Ethan nodded, reading the private investigator's latest update. The report detailed their plan to flee the country, their secret accounts, their hidden assets. They planned to steal everything and run, leaving others to face the consequences. Track their backup plans, he instructed Sarah. Every escape route, every hidden resource. When we're done, they'll have nothing left. The final pieces were falling into place. Hayes' Adventures was imploding. Liam and Chloe's reputations lay in ruins. Their relationship strained under paranoia and mutual blame. We should end this, Sarah suggested, watching their targets unravel. They've lost almost everything. Almost isn't enough. Ethan's voice held no mercy. They took everything from me. Fair exchange demands the same. The screens around him displayed his enemies' desperate final schemes. They still thought they could escape, could outrun their fate. They didn't understand. There was no escape from what they'd created. Ethan Hayes, the man they'd betrayed, was gone. In his place stood someone else, someone who would teach them the true meaning of loss. The time for subtle manipulation was ending. Soon, they would face the architect of their destruction. Chapter 7. The Unmasking. The warehouse stood isolated on the outskirts of the industrial district. Jake's team had secured the perimeter, disabled all communication signals, and set up surveillance equipment at strategic points. Nothing moved without Ethan knowing about it. They're approaching, Jake reported through the secure comm link. Right on schedule. Ethan watched through multiple camera feeds as Liam's car pulled into the parking lot. The email bait had worked perfectly, a supposed IT expert claiming to have found a fix for the booking system's problems. Chloe stepped out first, her designer heels clicking against the concrete. The stress of recent weeks showed on her face despite expensive makeup. Liam followed, his once confident stride now hesitant. I don't like this, Chloe muttered, glancing around the empty lot. Why would an IT consultant want to meet here? Because he's worried about corporate espionage, Liam snapped. Just like the email said. We need this fix, Chloe. The company's dying. They approached the warehouse entrance. The heavy door opened with an ominous creak. Inside, motion sensors triggered lights that illuminated a path through the space. Hello? Liam called out. We're here about the system fix? The door slammed shut behind them. Locks engaged with metallic clicks. Chloe spun around, panic rising in her eyes. What's happening? Liam? More lights activated, revealing a setup that resembled a command center. Multiple screens displayed familiar images, their secret meetings, private messages, financial transactions. Ethan's voice filled the space, cold and precise. Welcome to your intervention. He stepped into view, and both Chloe and Liam recoiled. The man before them bore little resemblance to the gentle programmer they'd betrayed. His physique had transformed, matching the hardness in his eyes. Ethan? Chloe's voice quivered. What is this? This? Ethan gestured to the screens. This is accountability. Jake emerged from the shadows, positioning himself between them and the exit. Liam's attempt at bravado crumbled. You can't keep us here, he protested weakly. This is kidnapping. Ethan's laugh held no warmth. Kidnapping? No. This is a business meeting. Let's review your performance as company leaders. He pressed a button. The screens came alive with evidence of their betrayal. Security footage of their intimate moments in the office, bank statements showing their theft, emails plotting their escape. Quite the collection of memories, Ethan commented. You were so careful to hide your affair. So clever with your financial manipulation. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? Chloe stepped forward, tears welling up. Ethan, please. We can explain. Explain? The word cracked like a whip. Explain how you planned to steal my company's money and flee the country? Explain how you betrayed not just me, but employees who trusted you. Liam tried to move toward Jake, looking for an escape. Jake didn't move, but his stance made it clear that resistance would be unwise. You're behind all of it, Liam realized. The system glitches, the financial problems. I built that system. Ethan cut him off. Did you think anyone else could control it? You wanted my creation. I gave you exactly what you deserved. He brought up more footage. Their recent arguments, their desperate plans, their growing paranoia. You're not the man I married, Chloe whispered. No. Ethan's voice turned arctic. That man trusted you. That man believed in family. You killed him. Liam suddenly lunged forward, attempting to tackle Ethan. The move was desperate, uncoordinated. Ethan sidestepped smoothly, caught Liam's arm, and used his momentum to slam him into the ground. Still trying to take what isn't yours? Ethan pressed his knee into Liam's back, applying precise pressure. Some things haven't changed. Chloe started to sob, her carefully maintained facade cracking completely. Please, we'll give you anything you want. The company, money. I don't want anything from you. Ethan released Liam, who lay gasping on the floor. I want you to understand what you've lost. Everything you stole from me? I've taken back tenfold. The screens showed their drained bank accounts, leaked emails to the board, evidence sent to authorities. Their lives, built on betrayal, dismantled piece by piece. Your monsters, Liam spat, struggling to his feet. No. Ethan's voice remained calm. I'm just the consequence of your actions. Everything that's happened, the company's collapse, your ruined reputations, your failing relationship, you built this trap yourselves. I simply let you walk into it. Jake moved closer, his presence a reminder that their situation was hopeless. Chloe and Liam stood defeated, their arrogance replaced by fear. What are you going to do to us? Chloe asked. Do. Ethan's smile was terrifying in its emptiness. I've already done it. Your destruction isn't a future event. It's already complete. You just haven't accepted it yet. Chapter 8. The Creative Punishment. Ethan circled Chloe and Liam like a predator studying wounded prey. The warehouse's artificial lighting cast harsh shadows across their faces, highlighting their fear. Let's talk about choices, he began, his voice carrying the calm of an executioner. You chose to betray me. Now I choose your punishment. He activated a new screen, displaying their personal financial records. First, the foundation of your precious lifestyle. Numbers began changing rapidly, accounts draining, assets transferring, wealth evaporating in real time. Chloe lunged for the screen. Stop. You can't do this. I already have. Ethan showed her his phone. Your accounts were compromised weeks ago. I just waited for the right moment to complete the transfers. Liam grabbed his own phone, frantically trying to access his banking apps. Nothing worked. All your money, Ethan continued, has been donated to various charities. Quite generous of you both. The press releases go out tomorrow. You're insane, Liam snarled. We'll go to the police. With what evidence? Ethan brought up more screens. Your documented affair? The proof of your embezzlement? Your plans to flee with stolen company funds? Please, involve the authorities. I've prepared quite a file for them. Chloe's designer mascara ran down her cheeks. I trusted you. Like I trusted you? Ethan's voice cut through her words. Let's discuss trust. New images appeared, their private messages, hotel receipts, intimate photos. These are being sent to everyone in your social circle. Family, friends, business associates. No one will doubt the truth of your betrayal. You'll destroy our lives, Chloe whispered. No, you destroyed your lives. I'm just making sure you can't rebuild them on more lies. Jake moved silently around the space, a reminder of their captivity. Liam tried to stand taller, to find some remnant of his old confidence. Father won't let you. Samuel? Ethan laughed. He's rather preoccupied with the company's collapse. His reputation, his legacy. all crumbling. The great businessman, undone by his own poor judgment. The screen showed Samuel's recent desperate attempts to save the company, failed loans, rejected partnerships, mounting debts. He chose you, Ethan continued. He can share your fate. A new alert appeared on one of the monitors. Ethan checked it, his expression unchanging. Ah, perfect timing. The board just received proof of your planned escape. The police will have questions about those offshore accounts. Chloe fell to her knees, designer dress crumpling on the concrete floor. Please, Ethan. We can fix this. Fix it. His voice turned razor sharp. Like you fixed my company? Like you fixed our marriage? Some things aren't meant to be fixed, Chloe. They're meant to be destroyed and forgotten. Liam made another move toward Ethan, but Jake intercepted him with brutal efficiency. The former soldier didn't need words to make his point. You'll never work in this industry again, Ethan continued. No company will touch you. No bank will trust you. Your reputations, your relationships, your futures. I've taken everything. He brought up their social media accounts, showing posts and messages spreading their scandal. Their phones buzzed constantly with notifications, friends unfriending them, colleagues distancing themselves, family members expressing disgust. This is worse than killing us, Liam muttered. Death would be merciful. You don't deserve mercy. A commotion outside the warehouse drew their attention. Samuel Hayes burst through the door, face red with exertion. Stop this madness, he shouted. You're destroying everything. Ethan turned to his father, his expression unchanged. Isn't that what you wanted? When you gave away my company? When you called my work worthless? He pulled out $100 bill, the same one Samuel had given him. Remember this? My actual value? Son, please. I'm not your son. You made that clear. Ethan's voice remained terrifyingly calm. You chose them. Now you can watch them fall. Samuel clutched his chest, staggering. Jake moved quickly, catching him before he hit the ground. He's having a stroke, Jake announced clinically. Call an ambulance, Ethan instructed, watching his father gasp for breath. But only after we're finished here. Chloe and Liam stared in horror as Samuel lay helpless. Their protector, their enabler, reduced to a dying man on a warehouse floor. You see? Ethan addressed them. Actions have consequences. Yours. His. All leading to this moment. Chapter 9. The Price of Victory. The morning sun illuminated the wreckage of Hayes' adventures, empty offices, disconnected computers, shattered dreams. Ethan stood in what had once been his workspace, surveying the destruction with cold satisfaction. Sarah entered, carrying the final data backups. It's done. The system's completely dismantled. She placed a USB drive on his desk, the last remnant of his creation. I'm not staying, Ethan. This isn't what I signed up for. You signed up to expose corruption? He replied without turning. We did that. We did more than that. We destroyed lives. They destroyed their own lives. We simply ensured they couldn't escape the consequences. Sarah moved toward the door, then paused. The man I knew in university, the one who wanted to build things, help people, he died at a birthday party. Ethan finally faced her. But thank you, Sarah, for helping him get revenge. After she left, Ethan activated one final program. Across the city, evidence of financial crimes hit law enforcement servers. Chloe and Liam's personal information leaked to journalists. Their complete destruction, encoded in ones and zeros. In his new office across town, Ethan began again. The space reflected his transformation. Stark, efficient, impenetrable. No family photos, no mementos, no weaknesses. His phone buzzed with updates. Samuel remained unresponsive in the hospital, trapped in a vegetative state. Chloe and Liam faced criminal charges, their attempts to flee thwarted by frozen assets and canceled passports. The society pages buzzed with their scandal, their humiliation complete. A news alert caught his attention. Hayes Adventures' final stock price hitting zero. The company he'd inherited, rebuilt, and weaponized now existed only in bankruptcy filings. Ethan felt no regret. The company had served its purpose, becoming the instrument of his revenge. Its death was necessary, like cauterizing a wound. He opened his laptop, beginning work on a new project. No partnerships this time. No trust. No mercy for those who would betray him. His office phone rang, a potential client for his new venture. They'd heard about his technical skills, wanted to discuss possibilities. Mr. Hayes? We'd love to meet. Send the contract first, he interrupted. My terms are non-negotiable. The voice hesitated. Of course, but surely we could discuss. No discussions. No compromises. Take it or leave it. After ending the call, Ethan stood at his window. Below, the city moved in its familiar patterns, unaware of the private wars fought in its midst. His revenge was complete. Chloe and Liam would spend years rebuilding their lives, if they could rebuild them at all. Samuel would never again dismiss another person's value. The betrayers had paid their price. But victory carried its own cost. The gentle programmer was gone, replaced by someone harder, colder, more ruthless. Someone who understood that trust was a weakness and mercy was a luxury for fools. The sun set on his new empire, built not on dreams of helping others, but on the certainty that he would never again be vulnerable. The $100 bill sat framed on his wall, a reminder of the price of betrayal and the value of revenge. Ethan Hayes returned to his work, his screens filled with new code, new plans, new possibilities. He had survived betrayal, emerged stronger, more dangerous. The world would learn what he had learned. Crossing him meant destruction. The final lines of code fell into place, a new system taking shape. Not for sharing this time, not for helping, for protecting what was his and destroying those who would take it. The architect of dreams had become the architect of nightmares, and he would never apologize for it. Epilogue: the aftermath of vengeance. 5 years later, Hayes Technologies dominated the skyline, its glass and steel headquarters reflecting the morning sun. Inside his top-floor office, Ethan Hayes studied multiple screens displaying his empire's latest acquisitions. The years had added streaks of gray to his temples, but his eyes retained their cold intensity. The Morrison Group stock dropped another 15%, his AI assistant reported. They're vulnerable for takeover. Initiate Protocol 7, Ethan commanded. Standard acquisition parameters. The Morrison Group, once Hayes Adventure's biggest client, would be his by week's end. Another piece in his expanding kingdom, built on the ashes of his past. A news alert caught his attention. Liam Hayes, released from prison after serving 4 years for financial fraud, had been spotted working as a bartender in a rundown establishment on the city's outskirts. The golden child of the Hayes family now mixed drinks for minimum wage, his charm dulled by prison and disgrace. Ethan opened a secure folder on his private server. Inside, surveillance photos tracked the scattered remnants of his former family. Each image told a story of downfall and desperation. Chloe, her beauty faded by stress and poverty, worked multiple retail jobs to survive. Her social media accounts, once filled with luxury and glamour, lay dormant. The socialite who betrayed him for a more exciting life now lived in a studio apartment, shopping at discount stores. The latest photo showed her attempting to enter an exclusive restaurant, only to be turned away. Her name, once opening doors throughout the city, now marked her as an outcast. The handful of friends who still spoke to her did so secretly, fearing association with her scandal. Samuel Hayes occupied a private room in an upscale care facility, the best blood money could buy. His vegetative state continued, machines keeping his body alive while his mind remained locked away. Ethan paid the bills, ensuring his father received excellent care. A reminder that he controlled even this aspect of the man who had dismissed him. A knock at his office door interrupted his thoughts. Enter. Maria Chun, formerly known as Sarah during their revenge plan, stepped in. She joined Hayes Technologies 2 years ago, after proving her loyalty by exposing corporate espionage at a rival firm. The new security protocols are active, she reported. No one enters the building without triple verification. Ethan nodded. After the betrayal, he'd rebuilt his life on a foundation of paranoia and preparation. Hayes Technologies employed no family members, maintained no close partnerships, and trusted no one completely. The Singapore expansion? He asked. On schedule. Though, Maria hesitated. There are rumors about your methods. Some call you ruthless. Good. Ethan turned back to his screens. Fear is more reliable than trust. His new company specialized in security systems and financial software, tools he'd perfected during his revenge. Corporations worldwide relied on his technology, never realizing their systems could be turned against them if they crossed him. Jake, the former Black Ops soldier, now headed Hayes Technology's security division. His team protected the company's interests with military precision, their loyalty secured by generous compensation and the knowledge that betrayal meant destruction. "Sir," his AI assistant interrupted, "you have a visitor." Tom Sullivan. Ethan's expression flickered. Tom, the veteran guide from Hayes Adventures, represented one of his few remaining connections to the past. "Send him in." Tom entered, older but still carrying himself with dignity. He ran a small tourist operation now, one of the few businesses Ethan had helped survive Hayes Adventures' collapse. "The old place is being demolished next week," Tom said without preamble. "Thought you might want to know." The Hayes Adventures building, abandoned after bankruptcy, would finally disappear from the cityscape. Ethan had bought the property through a shell company, planning to build a new tech center on its grave. "Will you attend the demolition?" Tom asked.
No.
Ethan's voice held no emotion.
The past stays buried.
After Tom left, Ethan accessed a hidden camera feed. In a small cafe across town, Liam and Chloe met secretly, their faces haunted by failure. Their affair, exposed and destroyed, had transformed into a shared misery. They clung to each other now, united only by their mutual disgrace. "Your brother's requesting another loan," Maria reported, checking her tablet. "Fifth time this month." Standard response, Ethan replied. Each request received the same answer, a digital copy of the $100 bill his father had given him, accompanied by the message, "Your actual value." The years had proven him right. Trust was weakness. Mercy was foolishness. Success demanded absolute control. His phone buzzed, another corporate giant seeking his services. Hayes Technologies had become indispensable in the digital age, its founder's reputation for ruthless efficiency attracting clients who valued results over ethics. "The board of NextGen Solutions is meeting today," Maria noted. "They're considering rejecting our terms." Ethan smiled coldly. "Release the first data packet. Show them what happens to companies that defy us." A notification indicated another withdrawal from his private account, funds transferred to Samuel's care facility. He maintained his father's comfort while ensuring the man's legacy crumbled. Hayes Adventures was forgotten, its name buried under headlines about scandal and fraud. The afternoon brought reports from his surveillance network. Liam, stumbling through another shift at the bar. Chloe, being rejected for a loan. Their attempts to rebuild their lives met constant, invisible resistance. His revenge continued, executing itself through algorithms and influence. A message from his property manager confirmed the purchase of another luxury apartment building, the one where Chloe rented her studio. Soon, she'd receive an eviction notice. Another small reminder of her powerlessness. "Your dinner reservation at Azure is confirmed," his AI assistant announced. Table for one. Ethan dined alone now, trust extending only to himself. His wealth afforded him anything he desired, but relationships remained tactical, temporary. The betrayal had taught him the true value of emotional distance. The Evening News ran a feature on Hayes Technology's latest innovation, an AI-driven security system that promised unprecedented protection. The reporter praised his genius while noting his reclusive nature. No one mentioned Hayes Adventures or the scandal that had destroyed his family. In his private elevator, descending from his office, Ethan reviewed the day's victories. His empire grew stronger while his enemies remained crushed. The revenge he'd planned had evolved into a perpetual mechanism, grinding away at those who had wronged him. His car waited in the private garage, Jake's security team ensuring his safety. The drive home took him past the site of his old company. Soon, even that physical reminder would vanish, replaced by a monument to his new power. At home, his fortified penthouse offered views of the city he now dominated. Security systems, designed by his own hand, guaranteed his solitude. No one could reach him here, physically or emotionally. A final report arrived, surveillance footage of Samuel's room in the care facility. The machines beeped steadily, keeping the great businessman alive to witness his dynasty's destruction. Ethan watched for a moment before closing the feed. Tomorrow would bring new opportunities for expansion, new rivals to dominate, new threats to eliminate. Hayes Technologies operated on his core principle: trust no one, forgive nothing, control everything. The gentle programmer who believed in second chances was gone. In his place stood a man who had transformed betrayal into empire, vengeance into victory. His enemies lived as warnings, their suffering a testament to the price of crossing him. As night fell over the city, Ethan Hayes allowed himself a moment of reflection. The cost of his revenge had been high, his humanity traded for power, his compassion for control. But watching his betrayers struggle in the ruins of their lives, he considered it a fair exchange. The $100 bill in its frame caught the evening light. Below it, a new plaque read, "The price of betrayal paid in full." His AI assistant's voice broke the silence. "Sir, tomorrow's schedule includes 3 hostile takeovers and a board meeting." "Good." Ethan turned to his home office screens. There was always more work to do, more power to consolidate, more enemies to guard against. The past was buried but not forgotten. His revenge had become his legacy, a perpetual reminder that some betrayals deserve eternal punishment. In the glass and steel tower that bore his name, Ethan Hayes continued his relentless march forward, alone but unassailable, powerful but isolated. This is where our story comes to an end. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for your time. If you enjoy this story, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.